Welcome back to Daytime. Well, as you know, Ottawa's Summer Solstice Indigenous Festival coming up, running June 21st to the 25th. Trina Mather-Simard from Madauki Farm was on talking to us about all the fantastic things that were happening there. And one of the great things that's happening there is there's going to be so many fabulous artisans. And my next guest is one of those artisans. I'm joined by Tracey Lynne Towedo. She is a jewelry maker. Welcome. Great to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me, Derek.
It's a pleasure.
I appreciate it.
So, Tracey, let's talk a little bit about, how you got into jewelry making. So what was your journey like?
Yeah, well, I initially started when the pandemic began. So I'm also a full-time photographer. So when that all came to a halt, I did what I thought would be best, was to keep on creating and, to focus on that creative self-expression. So yeah, that's where Kokumoon began.
So you'd never done like jewelry art before?
No, I haven't. And
this is what you have now? Like, that's pretty amazing. It was obviously inside you somewhere, right? Waiting to come out.
Yeah, and it was a way for me to keep connected to my culture too, especially when the pandemic, was ongoing, and also, to keep with that traditional beadwork and using a lot of semi-precious gemstones with a lot of healing properties to them.
Yeah, let's talk about some of the materials that you use. You just mentioned some there, and I guess some of those stones were incredibly important to you because of those healing properties, right?
Yeah, definitely. So most of the materials that I do use are from the Canadian Shield.
Okay.
So we have a lot of like topaz, ruby, aquamarine, and amethyst, and then I use a lot of leathers and birch bark. And so it all comes together and it all represents the 13 moons. So I definitely create under the moons, and that's something that's significant too to the Indigenous culture. Yeah.
So I imagine that's where the name comes from then?
Yeah.
Kokumoon? What does that mean?
More importantly, now prior to the pandemic as well, my grandmother had passed away, and the beautiful way where she had started her spiritual journey was she had passed on the full moon, and so it was the November healing moon. Now, she's also a residential school survivor, so she endured like a lifelong journey, of healing. So it was a beautiful way, to honor her legacy through Kokumoon. So Kokum is Cree for grandmother, and then moon is grandmother moon. So it's definitely symbolic, to the Indigenous people.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Let's do a little show and tell here. We can talk about some of the pieces that you brought along here. Where do you want to start?
Well, what we could do, I guess focusing on the gemstone jewelry, a lot of my furs also join with gemstones. So I have some mink furs here, and then I do some beaded full moons and turquoise as well. So we have some pearls and shells. So I definitely bring in all these different elements and then combine it with traditional beadwork.
What's your process like? What kind of tools do you use?
Well, I definitely use just like simple jewelry tools, and then all the beadwork is just combined with gemstones.
I love how you say simple jewelry tools. Those simple jewelry tools that we're all using.
Yeah, it's a pretty unique approach, but I definitely try to create for others. So I create to focus on empowering, celebrating, and igniting unique spirits with my jewelry. Yeah.
I'm certain you've been out to Madauki Farm.
I am. Yes, and I will be. So I'll be joined with a lot of incredible artisans at the Madauki Farm for their Summer Solstice Indigenous Festival. So I'll be there June 24th and the 25th. Yeah.
For those that haven't experienced the farm before, I've said it before. I've had the great fortune of going there quite a few times now with my family. Yeah. How would you describe the experience?
Well, it's a beautiful land. So Madauki Farm means to share the land. So what we're doing is we're having everybody, come out and celebrate and listen and experience, the richness of the land, and to participate in our culture, to listen and learn and hear song and dance and stories. And we're all about storytelling. So I invite everybody to come and join and just absorb it all,
Are you encouraged that more non-Indigenous people are starting to to come out to festivals like this and learn and listen instead. I mean, listen. I think is the most important thing, right?
Yeah. I think it's a unique way, to participate in reconciliation, and also, to have community, be celebrated and grow. Yeah. So it's all about the love. And this month too, we have the Odeoman Giza, so it's strawberry moon. So it's all about abundance, growth, renewal, love, unity, friendship. So it all comes together in this beautiful summer solstice season. So my favorite. So I'm very excited for it all.
We have some extra time here, so why don't we talk about some other pieces here? Let's have a look at these ones you brought here.
A lot of my work can be found on Kokumoon.com. So what I do, I title each piece, in celebration to Mother Earth. So I try to embody all the elements of nature, earth, wind, fire, water. And my summer solstice collection will be launching on June 21st, but it's a soft launch right now. So a lot of these pieces here are half moon blooming and the gemstone fringe. So it's morning dew. So it's really, to embody, like for instance, with the shell and the morning dew colors, to really, kind of, how can I put a piece in part of nature and have somebody feel connected to the natural world and the sky world? So like with geometric shapes and what we may see too, in the sky. It's all, one big connection. Yeah.
Obviously, people can come and visit you during the festival, but where else can they find your product?
Well, I'm also, Kokumoon.com, and I'm also featured at Beandigan Cafe.
Oh, excellent.
So it's a local cafe in the Lansdowne area. And there's a few things coming up, one being the NAC. So that's a market starting tomorrow, June 17th. And then I'll also be at Makatu Workshop. So that is in the Carp area. And just to name a few for June,
You've got a busy summer started already. Really appreciate you coming on today, Tracey. Thank you so much for joining us. Miigwech. A reminder, the Summer Solstice Indigenous Festival happening at Madauki Farm. That's June 24th to the 25th. They've got so much prepared. It's going to be an incredible festival. We'll be right back after this.